Welcome to the 50th Kadic Reviews here at Kadic Austria, and yes, it's been 50 of these things. This week, or this time, we're talking about Mortal Kombat 10. No, I will not refer to it as MKX. What, you don't think I know my Roman numerals, NetherRealm? NetherRealm returns after a 2-year break and a 3-year break from Mortal Kombat to continue its chronologically retelling of their games, just now with now even more complicated than before. The story mode, which, by the way, NetherRealm, fighting games do not need story modes, and I will get into the reasons why later in the review, is a 5 to 6 hour story mode experience filled with quick time events aplenty, cutscenes aplenty, good looking ones I might add, which, by the way, the game's one of its brighter points is that it is next gen looking and pretty. All the blood and effects look just as gory as they ever did, especially the fatalities that have been the goriest they've ever been. But the story focuses on the returning Chinook, practically a retelling of Mortal Kombat 4, but with a twist. You see, the game takes place in the modern time frame, but also 20 years in the future, primarily where it sticks at, focusing on the kids of some of Mortal Kombat's greatest combatants facing off with the threat of a resurrected Chinook. Cassie Cage, the most interesting, Kun Jin, the descendant of Kung Lao, Takeda, the son of Kenshi, and Jacqueline Briggs, the daughter of Jax, now make up a special forces team meant to unravel what the heck happened to Chinook's amulet for Raiden. There are plenty of guest cameos, which are the first negative. The guest cameos aren't only there, but you even fight against some of the cameo characters, and they look completely playable, which looks like obvious DLC bait, all to be darned. But I'll get to that even a little later. The story mode is your typical Mortal Kombat everybody fights, but only a few characters actually die, and you can't even do fatalities during the actual in-game fights in story mode. And ends and mainly focuses on the relationship between Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and their daughter Cassie. Trust me, there's one line from this game story mode that gets spoken early that is looped back around at the end of the story mode, and you'll know which one it is when it appears, when you hear it. But outside of the story mode's big useless story points, let's get to the actual game itself. I'm sorry to report that for the most part, it's a copy-paste job of both Injustice combined with Mortal Kombat 9, my initial fear when I first saw it. Level interactables are back from Injustice, but none of the multi-tiered stages are back from Injustice. A lot of the characters feel like Injustice characters, but with the Mortal Kombat 9 skin of X-rays and that returning meter, which gives you one shot at a combo breaker. And trust me, you'll need that one shot, but unfortunately won't get it because the unfortunate thing is the only way to get it is to get your ass beat. And trust me, if you're not a big time fighting game player, you will get your ass beat, seeing that the game is more driven towards the more hardcore committed crowd rather than the casual crowd, filled with infinite combos, complicated combo combinations, which in a world where Killer Instinct exists, in this reviewer's opinion, is unacceptable. Plus, once you get stuck in one of these infinite combos, there's no getting out of it, so you might as well drop the controller and take your pummeling. The animations, although good, are slow, and the match pace itself is slow and unengaging, combined with a boring orchestral but not really driving soundtrack. There's no reason to feel invested in the fight when you're doing it. Plus, with the life meters being too long, matches stretch on for too long. Also, on top of this, adds the new fighter variations. Every fighter has 3 variations to use in Mortal Kombat X, but let me describe them to you. One is the kind of okay variant, but you might use if you become linked to a character. The second is the oh my god, it sucks variant, with useless moves, useless combos, and takes way too much time to actually get good with. And then there's the God tier variant. And seeing that certain moves and movesets are linked to each variant, practically with every variant you choose, your move is cut in a third. Plus, characters are still imbalanced even with the fighter variant system. Trust me, just use a lot of Scorpion, a lot of Kenshi, a lot of Ermac, and a lot of Goro if you have $5 to burn for him, and you'll be practically fine. And the new characters seem to be more powerful than the old vets, saying Scorpion, which is even further. There are 25 characters if you include Goro in the package. And yes, although half the roster is filled with new blood, some of them are balanced and some of them aren't. On top of that, the game automatically asks you when you first boot it up to pick one of 5 factions in the new faction war, which is the key to the game's online component. But, unfortunately, the faction war has no intrinsic payoff. There's no great reward for being online committed, no ranking system that promotes getting better, like Killer Instinct. Yes, the online modes are filled to the brim with options from the actually cool living towers, an hourly, daily, and weekly changing traditional tower set, to King of the Ring, King of the Hill modes with full expectation and practice even as you're waiting for your match to come up and even more traditional fighting game styles, but with no intrinsic reward other than some barriers and of course coins for the massively improved and actually fun crypt. You'll have to spend a lot of time to unlock all the goodies in Mortal Kombat X, or you can spend $20 through the game's microtransaction system, which has become the most controversial part of Mortal Kombat X. Let me state as a reviewer that I don't mind the easy fatalities and microtransactions, and trust me, the casual fan won't either, seeing that getting their butts kicked by veteran players will automatically turn them off, and with no intrinsic payoff to actually reward yourself other than a good self-pat on the back, there's no reason to keep playing the online modes against other people. And worse yet, you can imply help to your faction even without playing a single second of the multiplayer mode. It's like everything, including the game's horribly slow connection speeds, lag-filled games, and bad netcode, drive the game away from its multiplayer centerpiece. Word of advice to any fighting game maker: multiplayer is the only thing, and it should be the first thing you care about. Killer Instinct got it right. Mortal Kombat should get this right. And this is the second time, if you include Mortal Kombat 9, that it just hasn't done it. There is no drive in this game. It's mostly a copy and paste job of MK9 and Injustice put together. There's nothing intrinsically new other than the wasted faction lore and the new characters to bring you in. And in order to get the full Mortal Kombat package, I've had to spend so far $95. That's right. As of right now, I've spent $95 on MKX. Granted, I've spent $100 on Killer Instinct, but here's the kicker. I've spent 104 hours within the world of Killer Instinct, while I've only spent about 20 in the world of MKX. Why? Because there's no reason for me to keep playing, especially in ranked play, which that's what you'll feel playing Mortal Kombat X. Outside of the campaign, which, unless you're a Mortal Kombat veteran, you'll care about, there's no reason to really play the game. And with a badly done tutorial and easy to execute cute fatalities through an even easier hardline fatality system, trust me, the combinations are easy as heck. It's almost like the fatalities are even taking a page from Killer Instinct's Ultra system with how easy the fatalities have become. Trust me, I've only seen about 2 that are actually hard to pull off given time. The game doesn't have any real reason to keep playing. Sure, it's a good time if you're a veteran or if you like Mortal Kombat, but take it from me, if you really want to invest in this game, wait till the inevitable complete edition happens where all the DLC is concluded. You'll feel a lot better, and trust me, with future updates, the game will probably play a lot better. But unlike Killer Instinct, I can't positively look at the future of this game because the future of it is bleak because of its lack of casual inclusion. There might hardly be anybody outside of the tournament scene willing to play Mortal Kombat 10. It's just not as inviting as its Xbox One competition. And even with Street Fighter 4 on the horizon, some Mortal Kombaters might jump to that game because of its better and more well-tweaked sense of balance and netcode. So even on the PS4, the future for MKX looks bleak, and it really should, because it's a bleak game. But it's not about the future, it's about the present. And right now, at the present, unless you're a fighting game veteran like myself, that have already bought in don't buy in to MK10. That's why I give Mortal Kombat 10 a 6 out of a possible 10. With horrible netcode, lack of casual inclusion and learning curve, and the intentional payoff of actually winning and consistently winning, plus the poorly executed faction mode and the future tease of DLC bait, all through the waste of a 5-hour story mode. This game, although fully packaged, has all of its ducks in the wrong row. Do yourself a favor and perform a brutality on this. And give it a good rental. Don't buy into it right now. And before I forget, the brutality system, something that required hardcore objectives to be done during fights, might as well be called the new form of teabagging. So if you are playing this online against a veteran player, beware the brutality. Until next time, I'm Peace and Y'all Nirvana, and thanks for watching.